When you ask about Pam Milam, those who knew her say she dreamed of one day changing the world. But in 1972, those dreams would shatter into a nightmare left unsolved for decades. And it also sparked the very beginning of the journey to justice. In the heart of Terre Haute sits Indiana State University. For its thousands of students who call it home, this is where the future begins.
In the best possible way. She wanted to learn. She wanted to get the most out of it, not only for herself, but for others.
19-year-old Pam Milam had dreams of her own. In 1972, a sophomore at ISU, she was studying to be a teacher.
I have a great photo of her desk because it's just piled with books. And she would sometimes talk about how much homework she had. My first name is Sheila, S-H-E-I-L-A. People call me Sam.
Sam Milam was never too far behind her big sister.
She was more obedient than I was. I was a little bit sassy.
Sam lives in Washington, D.C. now, but she remembers life in Terre Haute with her family and older sisters. Only a year apart in age, she says Pam was her footprints in the snow. So much, she even followed her to college at ISU.
She had joined a sorority, which she was really interested in because it provided friendship and community, and she felt that there was a lot going on there besides parties.
We had a great social time at ISU, a lot of closeness through the Greek organizations. I didn't feel like we were partiers.
Susan Martis was also in a sorority at ISU. She says rush parties were a way to meet potential new sisters.
We would talk to the girls, where are you from? Typical, what's your major?
That's what Pam was doing on September 15th, 1972. Around 6:30 that night, she and her Sigma Kappa sorority sisters met at the men's PE annex. Then at 10:30, they head to another party at Homestead Hall. After 30 minutes, she leaves with two sorority sisters. With party decorations, she walks back alone to her car. The plan was to meet a few minutes later, go to dinner, and stay at Lincoln Quad. But Pam never showed up there or to work the next day. Later that Saturday, Sam got a call from Pam's boyfriend. Pam's car was found in Lot 27 on campus. You may know it as the tennis courts now. For Sam, it's not where the car is, but what's inside that's alarming.
When he said that they found that her glasses were on the shelf behind the back seat, I basically knew, because she wouldn't go anywhere without them.
Sam and her dad headed over with a spare set of keys.
He took the key and he opened the trunk, and that picture stays with me.
A gag that was made out of tape and some cloth that was covering her mouth and nose. Her hands had been tied behind her back, and a second rope was tied around her neck.
Lying in her own trunk was Pam Milam. Autopsy results showed the bright, aspiring teacher was strangled to death, killed with the very same decorations she carried to her car.
There was a very dark cloud. It just did not seem real.
A bizarre crime that leave a college campus shaken.
I mean, how can somebody do that? How can somebody do that?
A family desperate for answers and a nearly 50-year search to get them.
I wasn't going to let them down. I was going to do everything I could. I didn't know if I would ever, but I wasn't going to give up.
That motivation would fuel Sean Keene for years. Coming up in part 2 of our special report, the now Terre Haute police chief walks us through the journey to justice, how he got there, and why this case is one of the standouts in his nearly 22-year career.